one good thing about the COVID-19 fraud is that because it's so obvious, many people are awake to the truth. They just don't know what to do apart from comply. It's a great question to ask yourself when you comply by staying at home, take a test, queue up for a vaccine, wear a face mask, socially distance, or send your kids to school to stand in circles on the playground like little robots. Are you complying with this because you believe there's a deadly virus that can kill us all? Or are you complying because it's easier, much, much easier than saying, no, I bloody well won't do that? I don't say that to make you feel guilty. If you're complying, especially if your jobs and livelihood depend on it, I would just like to ask you ask yourself that question. I believe there's a small minority of us that's fully awake, but I also believe that over half of us, more than 50%, are just complying because it's easier. You know this is all nonsense and you hope it's going to go away. The title of this video is called The Selfishness Trick. This is part of the agenda that's been planned out, which is the control of the potentially rebellious masses. Think about 9/11. It was said that if you were adults on Tuesday, September the 11th, 2001, then we all remember where we were when the news broke. The point is, in this video, unless you had a relative or friend who lost their life that day, you probably were glued to the news like the rest of us in morbid curiosity for a few weeks and clapped like the rest of us when the war on terror started and Afghanistan was invaded. Chances are you went about your life as normal shortly after. Why? Because it didn't directly affect you. Did you investigate it? Probably not. I'm an explosives expert. I saw molten metal glowing there 3 days after the tower collapsed. And I remember thinking, only thermite does that. What's thermite doing there? It cuts through metal like a knife through butter. That glowing metal looks like thermite. Then we all saw the repeats again and again of the Twin Towers collapsing, and I thought, that looks like a perfect controlled demolition. Straight vertical down. Wow. Guess what? Did I start making investigations, making videos for my friends to save myself repeating over and over? Things weren't as they seemed? Nope. I just got on with my life because it didn't directly affect me, and that's the selfishness trick the cabal depends on. You see, we're not evil when we don't get active about these things. The fact is that if something doesn't come straight through our front door, we tend to ignore it. If you're a school teacher, a policeman, fireman, work for the NHS or government hospital around the world, a council or municipality, local government worker, social worker, prison officer, a pharmacist for the NHS. If you're any of those things, you work for the government. So guess what? You just got paid to either carry on or you got paid to stay at home. So what? The so what is that you are now not affected by the economic Armageddon and war happening right around you. It doesn't make you evil. It's just that you are being deliberately kept away from all this so you don't wake up. That is the selfishness trick. You can be easily identified by your Facebook posts. You post normal social media stuff like, hey, look at my new car. Hey, look at what my child did. Hey, look how much fun we're having at home. The curtains have been carefully drawn around you to help you disguise the war. The freedom, destruction and genocide that's planned for you is disguised from you, and it's coming for you. I first made a video exposing COVID-19 as a scam back in February and March 2020. And a few of my socialist friends said, hey, I wish you wouldn't make political videos. Oh my God, this video set isn't political, it isn't religious. World War III is happening right now, and it's designed so there are no bullets or tanks or concentration camps, no Gestapo kicking your door down and taking you or your kids away until the very, very last minute. This new world order the cabal wants to impose on us isn't some socialist agenda, my left-wing friends. What's coming down the pipeline is genocide. And after this video set, I will leave you in no reasonable doubt as to the truth that genocide is coming. The world is being deliberately dismantled, and the cabal wants you, especially the government workers, or those of you with plenty of savings, to post happy clappy things on Facebook and other social media to paint the image that all is well. Look at what's really going on.
And it's been hard to quantify, but I think Del Bigtree again did another great video talking about really some of the, but like the amount of deaths and depression and horrible things caused by what they're doing is far, 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 far worse than any flu ever.
Cases of overdoses are accelerating.
Calls to suicide hotlines are up. More kids are going hungry during the pandemic.
1 in 5 American renters could be evicted from their homes.
But up to 121 million people around the world could be pushed to the brink of starvation.
About 28 million Americans at risk of eviction.
Job losses and economic hardship created by the COVID-19 pandemic could result in a 40 to 45% spike in homelessness.
Oxfam found that food crises in Venezuela and South Sudan have grown worse during the pandemic and warned that India, South Africa, and Brazil were seeing millions fall into poverty and hunger.
1 in 10 Americans don't have enough food. This is the headline, and that's double pre-pandemic rates. This was from a census report from the first week of July that people answered they sometimes or often don't have enough food. And this is two and a half times actually higher than before the crisis. And we just go right down these headlines and let them tell the story. More than 6 million people have signed up to receive food stamps in the first 3 months of the U.S. coronavirus outbreak. This is according to analysis by the New York Times. Jobless Californians are running out of money. What they're doing is they're calling the unemployment department. The unemployment department is giving them an automated message saying we don't have enough people to answer the phone. Please try again later. That this is all over the news as these unemployment benefits are running out. And then to your point, local news, Washington, D.C., D.C. Catholic Food Pantry, months of long lines with no end in sight. Reading the article, it's heartbreaking. Lines forming well before dawn with people, children, parents, kids in strollers. And then we go to the restaurant side. This is Yelp. Wow. Yelp says more than half of restaurants that were listed as temporarily closed are now permanently shuttered. 60% of them, for that matter, on their site are now permanently closed.
I don't say this to be nasty. I just ask you to look at the poor woman trying to make a living as a hairdresser. The desperate pub landlords who are outside the selfishness bubble that has been deliberately constructed around all government paid people. Think of them when you post happy normal things on Facebook. That happy normality is exactly what the cabal wants as they herd away all your freedom. You guys more than ever should join the resistance because you are not bleeding to death financially yet, and you can concentrate on waking people up and resisting the cabal without worrying yet about financial survival. Mark my words, the day is coming when you will have to pick a side. There are no neutrals in this war. I'll see you on the next video.